My hat looks lopsided. You have to save my life today, hat. You gotta save my confidence. Hey guys, this is Randa from Georgia Wife Life. I am back for another video. You thought that I wasn't gonna come back, huh? Last video I edited, I realized how much I say like and I had to edit so many likes and so many out of that video, you do not know. So this video, I'm gonna try not do that. And one of the subscribers asked me to talk about my LPN journey, so this is what this video is. I graduated LPN school in 2013. I graduated high school in 2012. So when I went to nursing school, I was 18 years old barely. I was young, I was kind of shy, but I felt like I was worthy. I felt like I was smart. So I went in there, you know, very confident because I had worked on a med-surg floor. At 16, I had worked at a med-surg floor, so I had kind of understood what nursing was all about. I had seen firsthand what nurses did, and I liked it. So that's why I was there. I was very confident in where I was. Nursing school was a beautiful experience for me. It was tough and it was hard. It was very stressful. I remember feeling depressive about maybe 6 months into it, and it was a 10-month course or 11-month course, I do believe. And halfway through, I was like, I wanted to finish it, but I felt so depressed. I remember crying so much. I was so sad. But I knew that I wanted to finish it, and I knew that I had to finish it because this is what I wanted to do. It was just very stressful. Ooh, my hair. So, fast forward, I graduated nursing school. I graduated nursing school, and then I took my NCLEX, and it was the minimum. I guess it's 75 or 85 questions. Passed the NCLEX, and like literally maybe a week or two later, I moved. I went to Louisiana. The process to get your license transferred when you haven't worked as a nurse is the hardest thing ever. Don't do it. This was going from a compact state to a non-compact state. They made me fill out paperwork to get a permit. And when you have a permit, yeah, you're a nurse, but you don't have your license per se. So when you fill out job applications, people don't want to hire you on a permit. They're like, what the heck is this? Like, it doesn't look good. And so when I was out filling job applications in Louisiana, nobody really wanted me. But for you to get your license, you have to have 3 months of experience, job experience, because your employer has to evaluate you every month. So before you can even get your license, you have to get a job somewhere. So I think in all, I probably spent like three months probably looking for a job. And finally I got a job, and it was at a long-term care center. And it was my first job as an LPN. And it wasn't med-surg, it wasn't the med-surg experience that I was looking for, but I took it. And I did learn a lot there, to be honest, because it was a rehab facility too. So they did get people who weren't just, you know, elderly or geriatric people. If I were to do that over again, I would go ahead and have worked in Texas for a little bit. Probably would have gotten more money in Texas and Louisiana, honestly. Like, Texas was paying maybe $5 more than Louisiana. So I would have probably gotten a job in Texas and then quit my job and then moved to Louisiana. That would have been much smarter. But when you do things like that, nobody tells you what's gonna happen. I worked there probably for 2 or 2.5 years, and I loved it. When I say I love older people, I love geriatric care, I love it. Maybe I just love nursing because I love working with kids too. But something about working with older people, you learn so much from them. I don't remember how many beds there were in that nursing home, but there were 4 wings, 4 hallways, and I'd say there's like 30 to 35 patients on each hallway. When I say that out of maybe the five nurses working in the evening and 20 CNAs working in the evening, I could only really say that maybe 2 of the nurses and maybe 3 or 4 of the CNAs actually respected these people. That's how it is in nursing homes. And I mean, I'm not saying all nursing homes are like that, but the couple of nursing homes I've worked at, it's like they don't respect, or they don't feel like they're walking into somebody's home. Nursing homes are people's home, and they treat these people all kinds of way, and I just couldn't. So after 2 years of that, I was done. Why can't you be kind? Why can't you be respectful? You're walking in their house. That bothers me when I see nurses and nurse aides being rude to patients for no dang reason. That messes me up. I hate that. So, ran over. I worked there for 2 years, and then I worked with a company of nurses. There were no nurse aides that worked for this company. It was just RNs and LPNs, and they sent nurses out to different facilities, and they use them to either pass medicine or like do things like diabetic care, stuff like that. I signed up for a building that was near my house. It was about 15 minutes from my house, and it was assisted living. And so it was totally different from nursing homes. I went to that place as a side job for a little bit while I was working with the nursing home. And that one lasted for about 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. I kind of worked both. So I worked there for a good while, and it was fun. It was easy money. I pretty much had to be there for it would be maybe 8-9 hours total. It was super simple. So it wasn't really a lot of nursing care aside from giving injections, giving medications. We would have to send people out. If there was something that happened at the assisted living, like somebody was hurt or they had a stroke or they collapsed, anything like that, then our assistance would be needed to send them out. So it was pretty simple. We basically were there for medicine and then daily weights, things like that, basically what nurses do, but it wasn't like we had to assess them, we had to do skin or wound care, all of that. Every once in a while we would have to do wound care. Every once in a while we would have to do things like that. So around, I'd say probably 2015, I started working with a company. It was a pediatric home health company. I've had kids with all types of diagnoses. So most of the kids who are in this home health care setting that are used by my company have trachs, they have G-tubes, some of them have GJ tubes, they'll have ventilators. We take care of really sick children. They could be, paralyzed. I have a child who's paralyzed right now. We take cerebral palsy kids. I've taken older kids. I had a 20-year-old kid, maybe a month ago, or 2 months ago maybe. I had a 40-something-year-old woman. We take all kinds of people, but usually they're pretty serious. They have pretty serious issues. Let me say I enjoy it because the way that my company is set up, it's not like me going into 5 or 6 different people's home in a day. It's one-on-one care for a number of hours. And you build a rapport with the family and you build a rapport with the child. And so you kind of get to see them grow. If you're with that patient for a set number of months or a set number of years sometimes, I've known nurses who have been with their children for 4 years. And so you see how they're developing and they're growing, and it really does touch your heart. I was with a child maybe for 6 months, but it was in his early stages of life. He had been in the hospital for 6 months out of his life, and he was only a year old, so he was very developmentally behind. And when I got there to work with him, to start work with him, he couldn't crawl, he couldn't sit his head up. If you sat him up like this, he would just fall, and he couldn't grasp or anything like that. But when you laid him down, this kid could kick. He would kick his legs. And literally I would just call him Beyonce legs because his legs were strong. And he would just kick, 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 and then he would roll himself to the wall. And he would put his feet against the wall and he would kick the wall. And so, sorry. So it was like I was with him for 6 or 7 months, and in those few months, we went from him not being able to sit up, not being able to crawl, not being able to do anything but roll, to him being able to slowly sit up, him being able to stay up, and then he never did crawl, but he did start walking. Did he crawl? He might have started crawling. And then I think maybe it was like a week or 2 later, he started walking. He started pulling himself up to places, standing in place, and then he started walking. And so just being with a child for 6 months and seeing that was amazing to me. Like, wow, like I helped with that every day or every time that I was with this child, because he only had a couple of nurses. We were helping him, we were taking him to therapy, and we were doing all the things that the therapist wanted him to do. And he was able to walk. It amazes you. So when you see the continuity of care, I say it so funny. When you see how your help goes into the progress of a child or the achievement of the child, it's amazing. So I love my job, but like I said in the last video, I'm kind of tired of my job. I'm keeping my job right now because it's very helpful to my schedule, but it's hard when you only have a few options in life as an LPN. I'm not saying all LPNs have that option, but my option is gone because not a lot of hospitals around me are gonna hire an LPN to work on their med-surg floor or their ICU floor. So my options are kind of depleted, and that's where I want to go. So I'm keeping this job so that I can stay in school, and their scheduling is amazing. With their scheduling, I'll be able to, work on the weekends or work in the evenings whenever I want, and still be able to go to school, make good grades, study, all of that stuff. So that's where I am right now. I'm at that pediatric home health company, and I enjoy it. That was pretty much my journey. I've never had med-surg experience, which, as a nurse, I've never had med-surg experience. So that scares me to know that, there's a lot that I'm missing out on. There's a lot of education that I don't know. But if you have any requests, if you have a video request for me, just let me know, comment it down below, tell me what you're doing, tell me how you're doing, and subscribe and like this video. I'll see you guys later. Bye.